Alright, so somebody online recommended, I guess I should give some background. I'm doing an upgrade on my stock valve train. I have a spare motor. I pulled these out of the spare motor just to test a couple things. Test the tool I bought to do the spring compression and get these things apart, and work on any of the bugs before I do it for real on my motor. So I was looking around and found some issues with the keepers, which are these little things here. If you're not familiar with them, this is a keeper. It goes on the valve stem like that. There's a little groove in the valve stem, and one of these goes on each side, kind of like that. Makes a little wedge, and then the retainer comes up and meets them. So that's basically all there is to that. This one is not on there. It's kind of loose. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take two fingers and I'm just going to tap it just like that, and it's stuck. It's enough to hold the retainer on there, and that's because the tolerances are very, very tight, and it makes a very good tight interference fit. I can pull it off of there without much force, but if I put a little bit of force on there, it's actually stuck pretty well. So it does take some finagling to get that thing off of there. Somebody suggested this as a test for how well your keepers seat and retain your retainers. Obviously this is a very good seat, so I'm happy with this, but this is off the stock valve train. There's only one little lip here for the stock spring, because this is a single spring motor, K20A2, 2003 RSX. Once that's seated in there, the keepers have a small gap in them. If I wiggle this stem back and forth toward each keeper, there's no play. I can't move the keeper without moving the valve, and I can't move the valve without moving the keeper, because there's no play in there. If I move it toward the gaps, you can feel a little bit of play. There's, where it's kind of breaking loose and seating up again. And I don't care either way. It's just something to note. So my thought on this was that the Supertech, from clubrsx.com, I bought a upgraded valve train set, and it included the Supertech dual seat retainers. So you can see on this spring retainer there are two lands for the two different springs, and I'm using the factory keepers on this as well. So same keepers, same valve. This is an exhaust valve. These are two exhaust valves. This is from cylinder number 3 and this is from cylinder number 2. And let's try the same thing. I'm just going to hold that there. I'm going to tap that one a little bit firmer, and we'll see if that holds. No, see, it doesn't hold at all. That's the problem that I came across, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. I don't even know if this is a valid test. These are brand new keepers. These Supertech keepers are brand new. These have 105 or 106,000 miles on them when I took them out. Obviously there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that they're not compatible with the dual valve springs that I just got. And the other thing that bothers me about this is when I do seat it on there, again, I look at the gap and I wiggle the valve stem toward the keepers, and there's play. There's noticeable play, which only gets worse when I wiggle it toward the gaps. I can move the valve stem independently of the keepers, and it just doesn't fit. There is noticeable play in the end of that thing. I can watch it wiggle. I don't know if you guys probably can't see this, but I'm holding it toward the end of the valve to make sure it's got a good seat, and I can reseat those keepers in there, and it's just got this play that it just doesn't look right. So anyway, this one doesn't have anything like that. There's no play, whatsoever, and I'm trying to do the same thing, but it's just not moving, and I can't even feel it right now. But there I can kind of feel a little bit of play when I do it this way, but it's nothing like the other one. So I need to go online and do more research, and I've sent an email to a guy named Willie with Supertech about this. I need to make sure I've got the right stuff, and I may end up ordering Supertech, retainer keepers. I have the retainers. I'm looking to buy maybe their keepers. If they were machined to fit and work with just this, that's fine. If these keepers need, a Supertech valve, then I've made a mistake in my ordering. But I'm not happy with this. So I need to get some replies and responses and see what's up. Is this correct? Is it just because this isn't broken in yet? Because for such a critical component with such tight tolerances, it needs to be right, and this obviously fits very, very well, and this one just does not. So I need to get that worked out. So do a little more research and see what I can figure out on that one.